widely considered one of the best maps in Call of Duty Zombies history. It has an amazing experience for both the average player and the experienced veteran. The map that revived Black Ops 3 from the dead after the train wreck of Shadows of Evil at the time. Der Eisendrache. But was it really as good as we say it is? It's been over 6 years since we received this map. Wow. Saying that might make some of us feel old. And is the map really as good as we remember, or is nostalgia clouding our memory? Let's take a look back at Der Eisendrache and see if Der Eisendrache was really that good. Anyway, before we watch the rest of the video, I have a quick announcement to make. Thank you for Rad Shadow Legions for sponsoring this video. And Rad Shadow Legions is actually a really cool game that doesn't exist. Check that out in the comments below. Anyways, let's press that subscribe button, comment below, and let's dive straight into this one. Repetition is something you try to avoid within writing or games. Repetition is something you try to avoid within writing or games. See how annoying that got? Even the best things become boring after you've done the same thing over and over again and again. The gameplay loops on COD Zombies aren't any different. In Zetsubo, Garad, Shadows, there are so many ways to play these maps, making them feel like there are endless options and endless ways to play the map. It's what made these maps age so nicely. However, the Eisendrache, well, that's a different beast, cause all you do is the same shit over and over with only a few different paths you can take. Well, all you do is open up the map, turn on power, beat the reskinned dogs from mob, then do a quest for the Stormbow, and either camp or train. Oh yeah, also you need the KRM to deal with the new Panzers. Yeah, those motherfuckers are back. But back on the repetitive gameplay loop, did the same thing over and over again and there's no change. Why use anything else other than the bows? Because everything else is so weak that there's no reason in using the boring guns in Black Ops 3. And to add to this, why use anything else other than the Stormbow that is arguably the easiest to get and is probably the strongest one in the game? So great, we use the same wonder weapons over and over, but at least that's the only thing that is repetitive. Right guys? Well, the dragons are repetitive, cause they only eat one zombie at a time, which is so stupid, it takes too much time, and I really wish these were just made into soul boxes, just like the ones in Cold War. I know, I love Cold War too much, but it definitely feels way too repetitive doing these dragon steps. Especially because we've already done them on Mob. I mean, if you're already watching this video, you've probably played Mob like 1,000 times, and you already know that, shit, we've done this shit 1,000 times before. But there are places to train on top of this, which actually adds well to the gameplay loop. However, in order to camp, you need a fucking bow, or else you're destroyed by these zombies that are fucking running at you like 10,000 miles per hour, and you can't camp without a bow. So, alright, fine. So, unless you watch Milo for 20 minutes and do a somewhat difficult side Easter egg, you can't train. Whatever. Once you get the bows, you can train. Let's say you realize you're broken as shit, and after 5 rounds, you're just bored. The bows have drained the fun out of the experience because there's no way you could die. There's no risk to it. On the topic of wonder weapons, how about we talk about the other bows? 2 of them are complete wolf shit, and 2 are hard to get. The firebow is the worst offender by possibly being the worst bow and the hardest to obtain, especially with lag. The wolf bow, oh shit, that just sucks. It just fucking sucks after round 20. I mean, don't at me, but that shit's bad. The void bow, while being almost as good as the storm bow, well, that shit takes way too long to remember and to actually get, and it's basically as hard to get as the fucking staff. Whatever. I mean, whatever. The gameplay is boring, but at least the new special weapon is cool, right? It's not bad, but in comparison with everything else, it's so plain. It's so boring. it slams the ground and you can place it onto the ground. I mean, it's cool, but come on, it's just not as cool as a fucking dragon on your hand or a fucking skull if not Stopway. Or fuck, even the sword you get. I mean, all of those weapons are cooler. And on top of this, the fucking rocket shield you get is a joke. I hate that so much. Create a new fucking shield. New shields are always needed. I love the dragon shield on Gerard Kroby. I wish they did something similar on this map. But whatever. The personality on this map, well, I'll get into that later, but the personality of the wonder weapons itself are actually done really well, and I love how they're done. I love the look of wonder weapons. Even though I've been shitting on the wonder weapons for quite a while now, I love every single one except for the look of the Ragnarok DG3s. But I don't know. It's not bad. The wonder weapons by themselves are designed well. And I love how they look and how they feel. It's just they take the risk out of the gameplay. In conclusion, gameplay is repetitive and boring due to the wonder weapons being basically easy to get and being lifesavers. And these things only add to the decrepit boringness of the map and the repetitive setup of the map. Alright, fine, so setup isn't the best, and getting the wonder weapons, well, I mean, setup isn't bad, it's just not the greatest. But the wonder weapons and the gameplay loops are just boring and repetitive. So what about the personality? Black Ops 3 Zombies almost always hits it off with the personality of the maps, and this personality and mood was a key part of its success within the community. With that being said, there were two maps that had almost no personality. These maps were the Giant and the eisendrache. The eisendrache seems so cool with the dragons and a research facility in a mountain on a deserted church with a city in the background. However, this is only on paper. In reality, it's dull. It's just snow, and it's just another fucking research facility. And the city you can't even see most of the time. The mood is just plain with no emotion to it. I feel this is a big problem with the map, and while I praise BO4 and BO3 maps for personality, this one just doesn't hit the spot for me. It feels like a Cold War Zombies map. For me, the main drive to play Shadows of Evil wasn't the amazing setup or fisting an octopus, but it was the map itself. I fell in love with the Lovecraftian vibe in the roaring 20s with the cool characters. Sure, the characters in the eisendrache feel as good as ever thanks to our old reliable crew. However, the only personality I feel is from the dialogue, which isn't a good thing. Show, don't tell. Gerard Kroby, while I have a lot to say about it, was fucking amazing in this department. It didn't say it was fucking Nikolai Belinsky. It showed you it was Nikolai Belinsky with the robots and the dragons. It was like a big fuck you, I don't care. Just like Nikolai Belinsky. This map just doesn't feel like Dempsey, nor does it feel like the connection between Dempsey and Rick Coffin. It tells us it is, and it tells us, oh, it's all about Dempsey, but in reality, it's just plain awful. Awful. There goes my Asian accent, whatever. It just has no personality. It feels like another random German facility, even though the map is made around St. Dempsey. Dempsey has always been fiery. The map looked boring, and it looks very sad and depressing. And while yes, this fits in very well, and I don't think this really fits in well with the personality of the actual main character. Something that was a good fit for Rick Toffin, yet this map isn't for him. Now, how should the map look? Since I'm giving all this criticism to the map, I should have an answer, right? Well, I believe it should be a little more like Firebase Sea and Gerard Trophy with bright colors. It should be very open and bright. However, there should be an underbelly to the beast. An underbelly just like Dempsey has. And later on, as we see Rick Toffin has. And I think this would coincide really well with the ending of the actual map, and I feel like it would show really well with the personality, and it'd be very, very reminiscent of these two characters. And I feel like it would add a lot to the actual map itself. I believe, sure, it should be fiery and shit, but I don't think it should be as fiery as Belinsky. But I think it should be at least a little bit more fiery. I think it should be bright on the outside, and not like bright as in snowy bright. I mean bright as in Firebase Z bright. I don't know. I love that map. Sorry. I suck Cold War's dick too much, but I feel like it also should have been a little more militaristic. And I feel if it had more brightness, more militaristicness, and more military in it, I feel it would have been very, well, very nice. And I wish it had a little more creativity than a church. I mean, come on, that shit's pretty fucking boring. But I don't know. I can't really do anything about it now. We have the map, and I can't say any shit now. I can't fix it because I'm not a fucking game dev. I don't know how much harder it'd be, but whatever. The underground area I feel is built perfectly, and I feel this is a great part of the map. However, I just wish the rest of the map didn't look like this. I mean, I love the concept of the underground graft area, and I love the lore within it. Oh my gosh, the lore. Ooh. Oh, the moon MPD, except for it's on Earth? Gosh damn, but it sure adds personality to the map, but it's not enough to cover for the rest of it. Definitely compared to the rest of Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4. So, otherwise, I love the personality of all the Black Ops 3 and all the Black Ops 4 maps, excluding this and the Giant, because these maps just don't encapsulate their character enough, right? Setsumo no Shima, whenever you load into that, you feel that you're Takio. Whenever you load into, well, Garage, that's the only other one I have, which Garage just feels like Nikolai. But when I play the eisendrache, I don't say, oh yeah, that's definitely Dempsey. I just say, it's another fucking snowy ass map. And I really thought personality would be better on this map, but it just lets me down. So, with that out of the way, and with all this bitching out of the way, let's get to the good shit. What I loved about this map. The community loved this map. I mean, they loved it for a reason. It's an amazing map. I'm not gonna say it isn't. It's a solid fucking map. It's good, and what it has is pretty good, except for the two things I mentioned above. But I'm done with this bitching and moaning. There's only a few gripes I have with it left, but the Easter egg is fun to do. Honestly, I can't say this with Garad. I can't say this with Zetsubo because of the plant steps. But I can say this definitely with this map. I love every single fucking part of this Easter egg. And even the wisp step. I feel that was a great idea and it really worked well. I just didn't like doing it twice. But if I didn't have to do it twice, man, this step would be amazing. It'd help like the player find out everything about the map. And I really love this part. The only other problem I have with it is that once you kill a zombie, it resets. But it's fine. I don't really care about that too much. But anyways, even though people think that was the worst part of the map, I really feel it wasn't as bad as people say it is, even with the two parts of the wisp. And I feel the Easter egg was very well done. And honestly, it was really good. I liked it. And all the other Easter steps were well done. And I love the comeback of the moon reference, if you got me. There's a bunch of moon references in this map, whatever. Then you go into the boss fight, and it's fun as hell. I love this boss fight, and he's amazing to fight. I love fighting and slaying this bitch. It's amazing, bro. It's fun. And yeah, I don't know, it's hard too, and it really feels like you could actually die in it. But in this actual boss fight, you'll never die because of unfair circumstances, but because you aren't good enough, or you're not taking into account of the boss, the panthers, and the skeletons that are spawning in with you. I also love the ammo drops because they're an amazing way to help the player, and it really doesn't feel like, oh yeah, I lost because I didn't bring enough ammo into the game. I feel like this is actually a really amazing addition to the map. And well, the story is also amazing. I love that shit. It's satisfying at the end, and while some people like the Smith place feels like it could have been done better or an alternate way, I feel like it wasn't. I felt like it was like an underbelly of the beast. Dempsey always acting so tough, but in reality, Dempsey and also Richtofen aren't as tough as they act. And I feel like it really shows the underbelly of the beast by a little soft ask, a little soft plea. I feel it was very well done, and I love the ending cutscene. I just love the story in general. I only have one other gripe, which is the first part was animated cutscene, which I didn't like, but not animated cutscene, but you know what I fucking mean, that comic shit. But whatever. I mean, they already put a bunch of money into the end, so I'm fine with it. At least they added a fucking intro on like Cold War. Oh, whatever. I don't know. I loved it. I love the story, and I love the characters. I've always loved the characters, man. I'm just sad they aren't returning. I don't know. They're amazing. I love the crew, and I loved seeing Ultimus Dempsey just like, well, not Ultimus, Primus Dempsey, like saying his final goodbyes to Ultimus Dempsey. And I love the lore. Oh, the lore is so good. Gosh damn. And the map layout is amazing. And the map feels like not small, but it feels good. It feels like the size a zombies map should be. It doesn't feel big due to the amazing teleporters and the amazing Wonder Sphere. I mean, this map is fucking huge, but it never feels like it because there's so many ways that the map connects itself with the underground area, with the church, with all this fucking area, with the Wonder Spheres jumping you from place to place. It's nice. And for the most part, all the Wonder Weapon steps are actually fun to do, and I love the look of them. Oh my gosh, they're amazing. I just love how they look. Yeah, and it brings all your favorite perks back except for PhD. I mean, you don't really need PhD since you got the fucking bows, but you know, you feel me? I don't know. I love this map. Well, I don't love it, but I definitely do love the Wonder Weapons, and I do love the attention to detail in this map, and it really is a nice map. I really did enjoy the map. Well, I mean, what do I think about it? Well, let's get into it. Well, what do I think about the map? The map isn't as good as people say it is. This doesn't make the map bad, and honestly, the map is still above average, but the map is just solid. It's above average. It's a good map. It's a map that I'll go to and back for a few times, right? But it didn't age as well as other Black Ops 3 or even Black Ops 4 maps, in my opinion. It isn't as good as the rest of the BO3 to Cold War maps. Before I went into this review, I believed that this map was the best map. And I'm serious about this, man. Before I went to this review, I didn't see anything bad with this map. I love this map. I played this map 24/7. Well, when it first released, but after that, I sort of just stopped playing the Eisendrache. And all I played was Shadows of Evil and Zetsubo and Revelations and Garage. And I never really knew why. I just didn't have as much of an urge to play the Eisendrache. And I think I found out why now. It's because it just isn't amazing. I don't love the setup, which is beating the dog. I mean, reskinned dogs. And it's not fun getting the same Wonder Weapon and just going in the same thing over and over again. Oh yes, this is fun to do once in a while, but it's not the thing I could do every single day. And I don't know. I really thought this map was better than it was. But when I actually looked back and got rid of the nostalgia and looked at it from an objective standpoint, I found out the map isn't as good as we all remember, due to repetitive gameplay loops, a lack of personality, and unbalanced Wonder Weapons. It isn't all bad, but honestly, most of it is good. And in a void, this would be an amazing fucking map. And it's just surrounded with other amazing zombies maps. I mean, this map is probably better than most of the BO1 and BO2 zombies maps. It's just not better than the BO3 and the BO4 maps, which just are fucking bangers, I'm gonna say. I mean, BO4 didn't have the best system, but it was still fun. The maps were fun to play on. The map is solid, and the biggest thing this map gave to the community was the revival of zombies itself. It revived BO3 zombies, and it's what made BO3 zombies able to work. Shadows of Evil wasn't able to kickstart that love for zombies due to how hard it was to actually learn, but the eisendrache really helped the community in a time where it definitely needed it, in a low point in its community. Well, the eisendrache was amazing at the time. However, looking back on it now, it just doesn't hold up to the standards that I thought it did. The map is a B+ in my opinion. A solid map. It's definitely good, but that's all it is. It's just good. It's not a Shadows of Evil, it's not a Origins, it's not a Zetsubo, and it's definitely not any of the classics such as Mob of the Dead. Thank you for watching, and if you don't agree, then say something in the comments below. I like to read you guys' comments. I mean, I don't get any comments, but I still like to read them, you know? The subject at hand is very subjective, and this is all in my opinion. And so, I do want to hear what you guys think. And if you guys feel like I missed a topic or two, feel free to say it in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.